Welcome back to the Cannes 2023 Parallel Challenge here on Fantasy Film Ball. We are your hosts, Matt and Arnaud.
That means we're watching an equivalent film to all 21 competition titles at Cannes this year. In this video, we are going to be talking about The Last Mistress and Last Summer.
So today we're going to be talking about Catherine Breillat, who is one of the most controversial directors in art house cinema. So Catherine Breillat is a French filmmaker who is a lot older than I had previously thought. She's 74 years old, which is wild to me because imagine your grandma making movies like this. She really likes to touch on very taboo topics, and she makes films that are extremely sexually explicit as a way to highlight irony and hypocrisy in society, particularly in regards to sex and the body. She has likened herself in the past to David Cronenberg, and though I would kind of take that comparison with a grain of salt, her films can be quite horrifying and bleak. Breillat's most well-known film, Fat Girl, is shocking and really explores some dark territory. It frequently ranks among the most disturbing films of all time. I think it's an excellent film, but it is not an easy watch. Breillat, she really likes to let the film sit stationary for very long periods of time, often not using much camera movement or a lot of cuts, and will let scenes play out over one master shot. Gross thing that I just learned about Breillat today, though, she called Asia Argento a traitor for accusing Harvey Weinstein of rape. Kind of paradoxical there because she makes films criticizing male dominance and the male gaze and sexual violence, and yet she defended Harvey Weinstein. Very gross. She has only played Cannes competition once before now with The Last Mistress. That is the film that we are going to be talking about. So let's get into The Last Mistress.
So this story takes place in 19th century Paris, where Renaud de Marigny is bound to be married to a young, innocent bride, but his love life with another woman in the past resurfaces when she pops up once again. This woman, of course, being Vellini, played by Asia Argento. This does feel on paper a lot like Dangerous Liaisons, but unlike Dangerous Liaisons, there's not as much like political speculation and interest and games going on. It's not like that exciting. It's kind of like weirdly straightforward, and I guess that's because Breillat is not that interested in those things so much as she's interested in kind of like the twisted romance kind of sort of love triangle that's going on here. And I will say, I mean, having not seen Fat Girl, I am definitely seeing that Breillat really has a knack for filming sex and nude bodies. At least in my opinion, she seems to have the most fun on a formal level or on a framing level trying to execute those scenes. And that's probably why there's quite a bit of them. The images she captures here are actually quite interesting and ones that I didn't particularly see in other sex scenes before. So I will give her that. But ultimately, though, I found this to be a bit unengaging and tepid. The story is supposed to have a lot of intrigue and moving parts. I found it a lot, like, quite simple and straightforward at the end of it. Honestly, I just didn't get all that much out of it.
I was also very disappointed in this. I found it very, very dull. The plot really didn't go anywhere, despite, as you're saying, there's supposed to be all this intrigue. But I think that the way that Breillat shoots her films, being very, very stationary, very static, it doesn't really allow for a plot like this to deliver on what it seems like it's going to do. Her style is kind of antithetical to intrigue and suspense and the sort of twisted drama of a steamy romance. She has the least glamorous shooting style that I can think of, and despite some very good costumes and production design, she doesn't really shoot it in a way that emphasizes those elements. The interesting thing about how Breillat films scenes is that she observes the body and tries to remove all glamour and sex appeal from the act of sex, but I don't think that the film itself has much substance outside of that. I will admit I was really, really tired out watching this, so I might benefit from a rewatch down the line, but I'm not feeling particularly motivated to, because this film just really did not captivate me. And I'm quite saddened to learn that Asia Argento did not have a good time filming this movie, that potentially Breillat did not really have a lot of respect for the performers who were going out of their way to do graphic nudity and graphic sex scenes on this film. It just makes it icky to think maybe there wasn't full consent going on from the performers. But let's talk Breillat's new film, Last Summer. You know quite a lot about this film now because you watched the film that this is a remake of.
So Last Summer is about a financially successful woman. She's a mother and a lawyer. She's got a perfect nuclear family, but her life will change when her stepson comes to live with her over the summer, and they will both start an affair together. I swear this is not the summary I just read on a random Pornhub video. This is actually the movie. This explores what if this actually happened in real life and how toxic this would be. This is a great cast. From what I can tell, Léa Drucker is the lead here. We know her from most recently from Close, but also from Custody and a bunch of other French films. And this is, like you said, Matt, this is a remake of the Danish film called Queen of Hearts from 2019. So we have a reference for the story. I've actually seen this film a few days ago, and what I can say is that it's a very upsetting film, and it's steamy in all the wrong ways. It's really a film that tackles on power dynamics, on how you can be manipulated without even realizing you are, how predators don't realize they're predators until it's too late, especially given that she is a lawyer. She is completely familiar with power structures and with how things work on a social construct level. What I will say is that I noticed that Queen of Hearts is actually 20 minutes longer than what the runtime that we are given for Last Summer, which is interesting because it's, to me, a fairly tight film, and I wonder what they would cut out. Is this a film that is more interested in kind of the concept of the film and that is just going to kind of indulge, or is this a film that is taking that story, that is taking it in another direction? I don't know. What I will say, though, is that having seen Queen of Hearts, this is a meaty lead role. This is a problematic character who doesn't realize, or maybe she does realize she's problematic and she's doing everything she can to hide it. Like, as an actor, it would be really interesting just to get into the headspace of this character, and that's why I can really see this getting an actress prize at Cannes.
If this were to get anything, I think you're right that it would get actress. I'm just not sure if it will get anything. I'm nervous for this film, especially knowing some of the things that I know now. Her attitude towards Weinstein and her defense of him makes me worry about the conditions that these sex scenes were filmed in. I do not expect that this is a filmmaker who would use intimacy coordinators on set. I'm just not anticipating this film. But thank you so much for joining us, watching our Parallel Cannes challenge, and make sure you subscribe so that you can catch all of our new videos talking about these exciting, fresh films at Cannes. Follow along on our journey to see who wins our Palme d'Or. Thank you guys for watching, and see you later.